conquer the rest of the world, and he wanted to make a big, great Macedonian kingdom. He did, by the way, in his short life, he did a big one. He came here and he conquered the area, but he didn't stay. He continued to India, as you may know in history. His commanders led Cappadocian kingdom here, again, more than 3,000 years we can say, from 313 BC up to 17 AD. In the 17 AD, Romans conquered these lands from them, and the great Roman Empire era started for Cappadocia. And it is like, if we should talk about in Cappadocia berries, more than 1,000 years these lands were belonged to the Roman Empire. Even after the separation of the Roman Empire, East and the West, these lands will belong to the East Roman Empire, which we call Byzantium, we can say. So, what happened next is Turks entered from the east, Anatolia, and they made a war with Byzantine people in 1071. In 1071, they made a war with Byzantine army, and they win against Byzantine army, we can say, and they started to spread around Anatolia. In a short while, they made Anatolian Seljuk kingdom, empire, by the way. It was the first biggest Turkish empire, and they made this place a Islamic area in a short while. So, what happened next is an invader nation came and made a war with Seljuks. Invader Asian nation, who they can be? Invaders, Asians. Fighting, ruling, damaging. No idea? Mongols, yes. Mongols passed through those lands. They made a war with Seljuks, and we cannot say that it was the end of Turks. Seljuks lost, and they spread into 13 small states of Seljuks. So, the one was here, Karamanlis. The other necessary one we should know is up there in Bursa Bilecik era, Ottomans. At the beginning, Ottomans were small as lands, but their leaders were wise and smart. This is how one by one they conquered the rest of the lands, and even in the middle of the 15th century, they conquered Karamanlis lands, and they take the Cappadocian lands as well. So we can say that up to middle of 15th century, up to Ottoman's existence, these lands were always under attack of a nation. But because Ottomans were a big power of that era, maybe the biggest in the middle of 15th century, nobody wants to make a war, conflict, argue with them. So that's why it was safe for several dozens of years, we can say. But after French